Hey, welcome to the chair with James. Know it's going through a tough time right now, everybody, and it's uh, it's really um, like I said, just an odd time. It's something I don't think we've ever been through before, at least this generation, uh, with the virus going around and everybody staying safe. Hopefully, not going out. In my opinion, just listening to science and then just getting through this, and then hopefully we'll be going where we want to in various ways. But today or tonight, wherever you're listening, I don't care. Or tomorrow morning, whatever. I just wanted to talk about maybe some football for once, and the Raiders, as you can see behind me, got all the stuff I need to remember. Uh, you know what life was about, at least leisurely. So there's a point where you know through this time, hey, you need a mask, right? You need something to uh, cover your face from the germs. So I pulled out something from way back in the day and got my own bandana here just in case something happens. So I got that uh, with me every day, and I wear it, and I'll get looks, I'll get thumbs up, I'll get words, and everybody loves it. Or if they're another fan of a team, they'll hate it. But it's what I got. I have other masks too, but I'd rather wear that. That has a lot of pride in it for sure. But today, I want to break down when and if we have a football season again, the first season of the Las Vegas Raiders in 2020. And I want to break down the off-season moves. The draft is coming up. That's why I'm doing this video. I waited till pretty much all this time to do this video for the draft week, because I wanted to get to that point and do that. And what's funny is there's a couple of reasons why I'm wearing these sunglasses. A couple of reasons. Because I've been seeing Twitter people wearing sunglasses, or asking people to wear sunglasses that have seen their new uniforms of their favorite teams, and to put their sunglasses their to their phones so they can see what the new uniforms look like. And I think it's pretty cool that my team, there's no need for that, right? Because the uniform hasn't really changed since 64, 65, whatnot. Just a few road switches, but yeah, that's the that's what we've been, and that's what we'll continue to be. The cities may change, the years will go by, but that's the Raiders, and there's no need to change uniforms. There's no need to change the looks. It's who they are, and I love wearing it, because there's no doubt that who is a silver and black. There's no doubt anything like that at all. And the second reason I'm wearing these, because there's a YouTuber out there, social media, very big in my eyes and very great in what he does. He does these Raider videos weekly and off season and all this. Chris Bernard, Watts Raider. He always wears sunglasses and a hat. It's too hot for a hat. I'm not outside. Anyway, just wanted to give a shout out to him and to all the Raider fans out there, whether they wear sunglasses or not on the video. And I could say this looks pretty cool. Can't really read anything, but excuse me. We will try, or just take these off when I try to read, pretty much. So that was pretty cool to see Chris's videos and to see everybody's videos about the draft, about free agency, what the team needs and what the team needs to look for in the draft, and who they got in free agency. And I just want to break that down because the first year in Las Vegas is very important. Every year is important, of course, but the importance of being the inaugural season in Las Vegas in the new stadium, I think that's very important, and would love to get back on the field and to have a guarantee that there will be games, that there will be something to watch come August, and see the training camps go on in July. But I don't know if we'll get to that point, so we're just going to do this as if everything will come back, everything will be better, and we'll see what happens. But free agency moves, I have just a little breakdown here, and what it means for the team, and the moves that I like, and the moves that, we just got to look at it and say, hey, that's probably the good we can do there with it. So Demarius Randall, safety. Raiders needed a defensive defensive overload probably in the secondary. Need to change that up a bit. So getting Demarius Randall from Cleveland in free agency, that meant a lot because a few hours before, Eli Apple was a corner for the Saints and for Giants. He is a big question mark wherever he's been, and I'm just happy the deal didn't go through with Eli Apple, and I'm interested to see what Randall can bring, coming from the Browns, of course. As sad was it to see Carl Joseph leave. I wish nothing the best for him. He went to the Browns, so it's kind of a little trade there when you think about it. So that was a little fun. Jeff Heath is another safety. He came from the Cowboys, and of course you see him pretty much every Sunday or Thursday or Sunday night, Monday night. So you get a good look at him, and I'm just hoping he'll bring some type of leadership. That will be something to see for sure in that case. Now, this one, I was looking at it in free agency. I was thinking, oh God, I don't know. He kind of has butterfingers. He has stone hands. But Nelson Aguilar comes with, I would say, a lot of baggage, but it's just what he's been able to do and what he hasn't been able to do. And I really want to see him do well. He's rarely targeted because of the reputation with his hands, but hoping just a new scenery can help Nelson out and give Aguilar some confidence, and see how he does. And I'm just hoping the need at receiver, that's taken care of there, and then later on we'll go in the draft and we'll tell you about the receiver need there for sure. I just hope he can score. Aguilar, when he gets the ball, passes to the end zone. At defensive end, free agent signing Carl Nassib brings more linebacker depth to the corp there. Solid. 6.5 sacks a couple years ago with Tampa Bay. And again, maybe a new scenery for him can spark up something that he'll do well. That's what I would love to see, along with all the defense and getting all that defense together with what you have now. There's key people, key young people in key positions, and you want to see um, them thrive all together. That would be great. Malik Collins, a defensive tackle, again from the Cowboys. Now, I don't usually approve of getting Cowboy players, but maybe in this case, again, being in the spotlight, maybe this will help themselves be better, but in a different spotlight. That's not so taken over by Jerry Jones and who's going to be the head coach of the team and all that. All the questions all the media has to give them. I'm just hoping for better. That's all for the people. Another Cowboy free agent signing, Jason Witten. He came back from the booth a year ago, played for the Cowboys. And all it is just providing, he's almost like a coach to me, the tight ends coach. Like, they don't need one this year. I'm sorry, whoever the tight end coach is for the Raiders. But Jason Witten could easily not have a great training camp and just decide to retire. And then, hey, you can become the tight end coach. Again, we have key young players at key positions. And you have that with Murnau. You have that with Waller. At both tight ends there. And you add Witten there, who will give you just that veteran presence. Say, hey, you're supposed to do this. And that'll give him time to get open. Or, you make a block. Remember Jason Witten, he's a great blocking tight end. And if you could give that running game a little force from the outside and get the run up the middle, by all means, I'd love to have someone to help him do it. Jason Witten brings that leadership, and that's what I'm going to look forward to this season. Corey Littleton, linebacker from the LA Rams, 4-year deal. And when I saw that they got Corey, I was pretty excited because it was the first free agent acquisition, and I was a little hesitant at first, but then I realized, they got LaMarcus Joyner from the Rams, and he had an okay last season, but he needed more help back there. Adding Littleton and having other linebackers and having a very solid defensive line, it just helps everyone out. And with Corey Littleton, he was making things happen for the Rams. It was that juggernaut they had. And I love the fact he's a sideline-to-sideline guy. He's one of the guys that will be everywhere, wherever the ball is. Run, flat pass, screen pass, draw, whatever the case may be. Pretty good player. And forces fumbles, gets sacks, and he's even blocked some kicks and punts, I should say. So that's a welcoming sight. If he could do it all, man, it's a great deal. So it would be awesome. Now this one was a question mark, but it puts pressure on a certain someone that Raider Nation is really divided on. I see on social media, the feeling from the fans is that Derek Carr, excuse me, he sometimes shows that he's a good quarterback and then sometimes not. And there's prime examples of that. And we saw good and bad last year. And it was just tough to see at one point with the collapse of last season in Oakland. And, now you add Marcus Mariota to back up Carr, and there's that little pressure that you have there. There's that little pressure you see, and you're hoping that Carr gets the note and that he performs better, knowing that the pressure's on him to perform, or he'll get benched. I know there's a lot of money toward Carr, but we're trying to win, just win. And having Mariota there, he had the falling out with the Titans. He still was on the team though, and still came in the playoffs and did a great job in those little option plays. And even though he wasn't getting the starting job with Tannehill there taking over, and the Titans going far to the championship game, you knew that Mariota had to be in a different position to go out and to do something else somewhere else. And maybe it's the kick in the butt he needs to revitalize his career. And working with John Gruden, working with others on the offense, maybe that's something that'll jumpstart back his career, and we'll see maybe not the old Mariota, but a smarter Mariota. So I can't wait to see him in preseason. I can't wait to see what Mariota can bring. It's only a 1-year deal, so it's a proven chance that, hey, maybe he can do something a little more. Next free agent signing that I didn't really know much about him, but Nick Kwiatkowski from the Chicago Bears, and it's a 3-year deal signing, and this again shores up the linebacking corp. The release of Tahir Whitehead, that gave some salary cap space and was able to get all these linebackers to help out, to add on to the defense. He's a nice player. Breakout season last year. Couple of 3 sacks and a pick, and it's an inside linebacker that will help out very much. So when you think about the free agent class this year with the Las Vegas Raiders, which I'm going to have to get in a thing to say. Not Oakland Raiders, not LA Raiders, not anything like that. The Las Vegas Raiders. When you think about all that, it's been a great free agent signing. And it seems like every year the Raiders, with this GM, Mike Maddock, and John Gruden, Mayock has brought a different style to the thinking of how to acquire players and who will fit into the system the best. And I love the fact that they get players who's been on the national stage and in college football. I mean, it's a championship game, I don't want to say Final Four, but, the playoffs, I guess, in college football. And the ones that have shined the brightest. We've seen players from Clemson, Alabama, LSU come to the Raiders and thrive. And, I'm just hoping that this paper here on this notepad that some of these players will come help the Raiders and we'll get to the NFL's biggest stage. And I'm hoping that happens. So the Raiders all together have 6, 7 picks in the 2020 draft. Round 1, they have the 12th pick and the 19th pick from the Chicago Bears from the Khalil Mack trade. And there's a real debate on the first pick the Raiders have at 12, with C.D. Lee, from Oklahoma, or do you get Jeudy from Alabama? And recently, there's been the Wonderlic test come out, the results. It's all about players who are graded on, strategies based on decisions and what they would do and their memory and all that. And it came out, Jeudy had a bad score. CD Lee was, average. Both are freaks in nature. Both can really revitalize the receiving core. Well, I shouldn't say revitalize, because when you think about it, the Raiders have a pretty good core right now. But adding that one big threat, one big rookie threat, either Lee or Jeudy, Judy, you're looking at someone who will be plugged in right away and expected to perform. It's just like the Amari Cooper expectation back in 2015, but with better expectations, I think, because these two have the capability to have a bigger play role in themselves, more than Cooper did. I'm not knocking Cooper at all. I mean, he was good until he just started to drop passes most of the time. But with these two, CD Lee and Jeudy, it's a very tough decision. You got to go with one, and you got to hope that no one out there before the Raiders pick gets one of those guys, because if they do, you have Justin Jefferson from LSU, and you have to take him. The Raiders do need that receiver. So you can't miss on a receiver here. You can't. And if you have to draft up, if the rumors are coming out, hey, we're going to, someone eyeing on one of your receivers, you say, hey, got to stop that and trade up for him somehow. But Jefferson wouldn't be such a bad consolation prize. But, seeing Lee and Jeudy, you got to go after one of them. So I would love to know what people think about that, because that first decision, that's a pretty much franchise-altering decision right there with Lee and Jeudy. Personally, I would go Jeudy, but the freaking nature of Lee, that's pretty good to CD Lee. So we'll have to see what the Raiders do about that. And number 19, the pick from Chicago for Mac. I say the Raiders go corner here. And these are two good corners. And they're, again, on the biggest stage, on national TV a lot. In college, and they're both corners. Got Trevion Diggs from Alabama, and you have C.J. Henderson from Florida. A lot of mock drafts have C.J. Henderson, and I'm persuaded to get C.J. Henderson. From what I saw in the film, I'm not Ron Jaworski. I'm not, looking at hundreds of thousands of hours of film, but I really liked what Henderson brought. And again, playing on the national stage, everybody's getting to see what you're doing. And my arc is on that for sure. So it's a big decision there, but I think it's easier than at the 12th pick, what the Raiders will do. No picks in the second round. And go number 80. And I know it just seems odd, but I'm going to go with safety Terrell Burgess from Utah. I feel like you can shore up another safety position. I know there's a lot of help there already, but I like what he brings. At pick number 80, at 81, I would go with linebacker Troy Dye from Oregon. Being out here in California, I get to see these players a lot, and they gave my Trojans some bad times over the middle. So I I would definitely look at that for the Raiders at 80 and 81, and at number 91 in the third round. I would go cornerback Amik Robertson. I feel like he can bring something as well. I liked what he was doing at his college, and I was watching some film on him too. I really enjoy what he can bring. Fourth round, excuse me, of the 121st pick, I would go defensive tackle Laurel Murchison. I was watching some of his film and reading about him. And I was liking what I was seeing, and excuse me, the one thing that I feel like the Raiders haven't had in a while was a great defensive tackle up the middle. Because you have the defensive ends lined up well. You have Farrell, you have Jordan, you have Key, and you have Crosby. That's pretty solid there. But if you could get that one impact player coming out of nowhere, and it's Laurel Murchison, I would love to see that. Just a story about a player picked in the fourth round and paying dividends right away. I would love to see that from him, and if he's there, I think the Raiders should take him for sure. And the last pick that the Raiders have in the fifth round at 159, I'm going to go with offensive lineman Kyle. I should have read this earlier. Kyle Hinton from Kansas State, by the way. And Laurel, by the way, is from North Carolina State. That's where I was trying to remember I saw him from. I remember seeing red. And then Kyle Hinton from Kansas State. Being an offensive guard, what the Raiders have signed recently over the years, Trent Brown, I think with Hinton there, I think that would be a solid pick to have him learn from Trent Brown. And God forbid if something happened to Brown, Hinton can bring something up on that guard spot if somebody's missing something. And need all the protection for a car you need to for him to throw the ball. I can also see the Raiders going for another running back if you can get him for a low deal, very low draft pick. Having him come into camp with something to prove. I love those type of stories, and there's not many running backs out there drafted high. If there's one thing about this draft, it's gonna be a wide receiver loaded draft, especially in the first round. You might see the record for wide receivers drafted, not only in the first round but second round. I've mentioned about 3, but there's probably 8 or 10 out there that are highly scouted, put in order, and that can really do something in the league. And I'm just hoping, I'm praying that the Raiders get one of those guys we mentioned, Judy or C.D. Lee. If not that, you get Jefferson, and you hope he turns out to be something, a facsimile of those two. And you're just hoping for that. Most of all, you're hoping there's a season. You're hoping that there's something we can all get together, of course safely, smartly, get together for a Raider game, get together for a football season again. And for now, we just have to watch the NFL draft on the Thursday. And, by the way, what day is that? Thursday, the 4. Yeah, 24th through 26th. I was reading the commissioner's going to read the picks from his basement in his mansion, let's just say. It's sort of like this when you think about it, what I'm doing right now. Can you imagine that? You know, you're all dressed up, suit and a tie, and you're saying, you know, the 12th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select. There's no applause, no nothing. You're just, you're panning from one zoom camera to another. You know, you're just going from one and one. And it's going to be very unique. It's going to be like what the draft was years ago. But it wasn't even in, but that was in the time, I should say, it was just a ballroom, but many players didn't come. It wasn't until the 70s players started to come, and then it became a spectacle more in the 90s, and now it's a prime time thing. It used to be a Saturday morning thing for those of us out here in the West Coast. Just to get up early, even on Saturday, and see where my team would pick, where other teams picked. And that was always something to look forward to. But the Raiders here, I'm hoping for a great draft that will lead the future to even brighter things, and that's what I'm hoping for. So that's been free agent breakdown and the draft breakdown of 2020 for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's been the chair with James. We will have more content through all this time. We will have more things to talk about and do. Just have to really dig them up and see what comes up, you know. So it's been fun talking. Been fun talking about something other from the virus. Even though we did, really, but you know what I mean. Just something different. Something that looks forward. If we do everything right, if we get everything right, it's kind of like the draft. And then the production of the whole team, which is all of us, hoping that everything gets together and gets it right, and then we can all be healthy and all do what we want to do together. So for the chair, it's been real with James, and I'll see you next time. Bye.